Track for Galati, hits the front shortly after and sprints away. He's going for home at the 100. Belvedere Rock, he ducked in badly. Nothing to concern himself with, though. He's gone right back to the rail and he's going to destroy them, Belvedere Rock. Belvedere Rock by about 4. Battle on battle.
Yeah, that was the second leg of a double for Barry Newnham at Geraldton last week. Belvedere Rock, Hillside Monarch won the first 2. Very impressive wins, and Barry joins us now live from Geraldton. Good afternoon, Barry. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, how are you going? Very good.
Good, thanks, Barry. Hope you're well as well. The win we just relived there, Belvedere Rock. My goodness, he looks a pretty progressive horse. He got his head down at the start. He missed the kick. He ended up in a pretty awkward spot in running, but he was still far too good for his rivals. What is this horse's ceiling, I guess, at this very early stage of his career?
Well, he's at early stage. I mean, he's been a handful, but he's sort of come to it. We took him to York, away from his comfort zone, to see if he'd go in the barriers, and he did. Then we took him away to Carnarvon to see if he'd go in the barriers, and he did. He ran second there. And from then on, he's sort of done it all right, and hopefully that's the way he keeps going. He looks like he could be a 22 or 2400 metre horse. He's sound, he's big, and he is big. So if he can progress and keep his head right, he's some future.
And in terms of what might be next for him off the back of that win at Geraldton last week, do you look for another race up there in Geraldton? Because I did note in your post-race comments with Tess that you might even look at bringing a horse like him to town at some stage.
Yeah, probably at some stage, but I don't rush down there. The money's reasonably stake money here now.
Yep.
So it's no point in sort of star shooting. There's another race here next week over 1600. He may have a crack at that. But if he shows a bit more on the track and it looks like he's going forward in leaps and bounds, well then I guess you would go down there. You know.
Barry, what did you make of the return of On The Mark? It was a tough ask, I guess, first up after a long break, 62 kilos wide barrier at the 1400 metres. What did you make of the return? Was travelled wide throughout, so there were excuses?
Yeah, there's plenty of excuses, but, it's a little bit. I threw him in the deep end. There was, there wasn't much around, and he's a bit big, and I thought, well, he's like fit enough to run the journey out. He's not, probably gone on the corner or something like that. But that doesn't hurt horses if they've got a few miles in their legs. The wind's got to come right. Yeah, it wasn't over impressive, but he done it very tough. But I think he's been he's pretty well been crucified from the start. This horse, as far as weight goes. I mean, he won a maiden at Carnarvon, for God's sake, And I know he ran a few races in Perth and stuff like that, but he's never really beaten a horse home, and this is what you cop. So that's what you get for having a reasonable horse, isn't it?
Barry, hopefully he can bounce back from that return performance, and I'm sure that he will with the ability that he has shown in his career to date. What was the, I guess, maybe not the right word, reluctance, but was there any consideration given to taking him to Perth last preparation, given how well he was going and the weight that he was being lumped with up there at Geraldton?
Yeah, well, he travels all right, I suppose, in the float and whatever else. But I just kept picking races that I thought he could win here, and just keep getting the owners 10 or 12,000 and stuff like that. But even when you come to town, he doesn't really drop a lot of weight when you think about it. If you put him out of his class, and then maybe he would get 55 or 6 or whatever else, But what's the point of doing that when you got to compete with good horses? But I think he's been very, very harshly handicapped from day one. I really feel it. I know he won races here by 4 lengths and whatever else, but didn't beat nothing. He had to go to Carnarvon to win a maiden, for God's sake.
Yeah, okay, well, interesting statements there. Pinjarra in less than a minute. He has got a lot of ability on the mark. And just before we let you go, Barry, Hillside Monarch, he must have been thrilled with that win. Can that mare now go on with it and win a Class 1, Class 2 and keep progressing?
I think she can. She's had her problems and got her problems, but she's sound enough, and she's got a good head on an hour, hopefully. And, yes, I think she can.
All right, there we go. No racing at Geraldton until next Sunday. Have you got a winner for us?
Is it Sunday or Tuesday?
Sorry, Cup Day.
Melbourne Cup. Yeah, that's exactly right. It'll be Cup Day on Tuesday. Have you got a team heading to the races then, Barry?
Yeah, I think Belvedere Rock and probably Hillside Monarch maybe again.
Beautiful.
All right.
Barry, you're doing a great job, mate, with a small team. Thanks so much for taking our call this afternoon.
Thanks, Barry.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.